So how long did you have to fight it? Like, how long did it take?
So when my lawyer came in, they said, man, look, I'm going to get you out of here in 4 months. I told him, like, man, we going to speedy trial this. You know, I got a daughter out there. I'm not taking no deals. They're going to have to give me whatever time they give me. They're going to have to give it to me. I ain't taking nothing. So he was on board with that. Like, all right, yeah, that's what we gonna do.
So the speedy trial basically, like, it's a lot faster, but it's more high risk, but you're like putting more pressure on the state that they have to be able to prove.
Yeah, because like realistically, in the state mind, they'll put the murder charges on you and they'll let you sit for 5-6 years. I had like I said at the time, my best friend was in there for 4 years already fighting his murder case. And he was just sitting, he ain't go to trial or nothing yet, you know, at the time. So I told myself, I'm not finna be sitting here for no 3-4 years till y'all figure out. Y'all have to give me that time or let me go on my business. So they ended up, my lawyer was on board with what I was on board with. And we applied that pressure. And the DA was like, man, why don't y'all just waive time? We're like, nah, we're not doing that. You know, y'all gonna have to let me out or something, like let me out on ankle or something. Like, you know, then we waive time. We got on ankle or something, but other than that, I'm not finding sitting here all this time.
So when it actually came time for trial, like what were the important things that you had to prove in order to actually beat it?
So we didn't even make it to trial. We beat it before trial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we beat it before trial. We went to prelim first. So it's like when you speedy trial, you got to go to prelim in 10 days. But we waived the 10-day and did like I think it's like 90-day prelim. So I had to sit there 3 months. And on the third month we went to prelim, they dropped it, but they refiled on us. So it's like we beat it, but they kept us in jail. We refiled, they recharged us. So now it's like we had to wait another little period of time before we go back to prelim. So when we go back to prelim, we in prelim for like 3-4 days. Preliminary hearing is like when they presented evidence to the judge for the judge to bound you over to go to trial, to be like, yeah, y'all got enough evidence to take these men to trial. So when we get to prelim, my lawyer, he's a beast. Me and him is tight to this day. He was just going so hard, you know. The DA just actually is like, man, you know what? We actually went left and we came back to court the next day. When we came in court, the DA wasn't in there, so we sent down. And I'm like, man, where the DA at? He like, I don't know. So the DA came in court, was like, hey, judge and the lawyers, and we talked to him on the chambers. So they sent us back in the bullpen, and we just sit in the bullpen. We came out, tried to sit back in my seat, you know? And my lawyer like, stand up. I'm like, for what? He like, they about to let you up out of here. I'm like, oh.
That's got to feel so good.
Oh my gosh, that wind, like when you walk out the jailhouse, that wind is like, no, that breath of fresh air is like, whoo.
Especially doing the speedy trial, so you didn't have to sit as long and you know that you did the somewhat riskier method risky. And that it actually worked.
Yeah, but they was more trying to put the gang on us. Like they was more like, they was trying to bang us with the gang because the murder was kind of like, all right, we can't really do too much with them on the murder because the situation, how it happened. Like, you know, you can't just say that we just blatantly just murder somebody. Like,
especially if it's his gun.
You feel what I'm saying? That ain't how it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but they, you know, the gang in San Francisco is like serious. That's a serious charge. That carry life too. So they like, man, we just gonna try to get him as the gang and use the murder as a motive. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So.
That's crazy. Holy shit. So then how do you kind of like return to normal life after that?
It wasn't normal. At this time, it's fired up now. I'm getting out. Like, as soon as I get out, like probably like a month or a few weeks later, I get in a little situation, But it was cool. Like, you know, like, it was kind of like normal, but it's like I know I'm a trophy at this point. I wasn't no trophy before like that. It was just kind of like regular. But now at this point, it's like, oh, you top dog. This before I'm rapping or anything, though.
So your whole neighborhood, you're like a huge name all of a sudden. Everybody talking about you.
I'm a big dog at this time.
And then the ops are looking like,
it's like
you're a big problem for them.
Yeah, it's like you know, we can't, you know, it just became like a.
So even like just going to that club, like you were just describing, does that all of a sudden become like a way bigger decision at that point? Or something you can't even really do like that?
It just, it just can't do this, can't play around like that.
What's this other situation that you got into?
When I got shot.
So you got shot after that? Okay.
I got shot like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
I just recently got shot.
But you said you had like a situation after you got out.
Oh, a situation. After that, when I first got out, driving to the studio, we had a studio, driving to the studio, and end up getting into a situation, somebody get on side of me. But, you know, I don't really play card games like that, so I'm driving on my side of the street. They get on the wrong side of the street, and I see it. I'm like, ooh. So I get over, like, you know, y'all ain't getting on side of me. They try to get on the other side. I just see somebody out the window start going crazy on the car. I'm like, oh, bust a lot, get up out of there. You know, you don't panic. You know what I'm saying? You can't panic. So I ended up busting right. They went the other way. They hit the car a few times, whatever. I went to the house.
Holy shit.
Yeah, just went to the house.
And so it was like it never even happened? Like, the cops don't get contacted
you
or
don't
anything?
call the police. It's regular.
I mean, I know you can't, but like, that's fucking insane.
But it's crazy because a few months after, the police ended up stopping me one day like, hey, we need you to come look at something. I'm like, look at something for what? They like, man, we heard you had a situation. I'm like, I ain't had no situation. Like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I don't play. They're like, all right, and they never said nothing after that.
Really?
Yeah, they never said nothing.
So they might have like had footage of it or something?
I feel like they did because somebody else had said something. Like the police, where we from, the police just be talking. Like they'd just be talking. They had said something. But I ain't want to have no conversation with them. I wasn't tripping like that.
But the car got hit a bunch of times, but you didn't get hit?
Yeah, the car got hit like 4 times. Oh. The rearview mirror got knocked off and everything. They knocked the rearview mirror off. That was like the only bullet that came in the car for real. Knocked the rearview mirror off and they hit like the side of the car.
Holy shit.
Like the side of the car.
And that was the only time that you got attacked like that?
Nah, another situation happened like that too. Somebody tried to get on side of me again. It's just, you know.
Wow.
But you know, it's kind of like normal, like in a sense, even though it's messed up that it's normal, but it's just like, you know, like, and you know, it go both ways. So it's just, you know,
right.
It go both ways.
You feel like that's just like the life you chose at a certain point?
Yeah, but it's like, and I kind of even feel like I didn't even choose it. It's kind of just like, just happened for real. Like, everything just happened. Like even with me being a rapper, like it just kind of happened. I'm
gonna do the Vlad thing and say, have you thought about leaving? Vlad's always telling people to leave their hometown.
I don't stay. I don't stay out there no more. I've been, you know, wiggling up out of there.
But this was a while ago.
Yeah, this was
at that time. You probably didn't have an option, right?
Yeah, at that time I didn't have an option. You know, I was home. You know, it was 2016. You know, but right. I know, like, I'm smart enough to know, like, ain't nobody exempt. Like, I know, like, ain't nobody gonna spare me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I try to like just be as cautious and careful as I possibly can. Ain't nobody sparing nobody out here. Ain't nobody exempt. Nobody being in the program. So
it's really weird for me as somebody who's kind of like in the middle of so much of this shit, and I'll have situations where I have somebody that I'm cool with, and I know that they basically, you know, either did something themselves or ordered something to be done to somebody else that I'm cool with, and at a certain point, I got to just kind of separate myself from it and be like, look, like, this is their fucking lifestyle. Like, I can't look at one guy as the bad guy and one guy as the good guy. The truth is that this is just,
man, we know what goes on.
This is where they're at, and I haven't had to be put in the position of like having that sort of like lifelong like vow to fucking get revenge on somebody. But I can totally understand how they get in that position given some of the shit that's happened to them.
Right. Not for sure. It just, man, stuff happens out here, man. You gotta know. You gotta be smart enough to know, like, you know, what you're doing a little bit.